What is going on, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you all my BBL Wi-Fi Season 6 Takeover video, and we took over for this Week 7 game onwards, and unfortunately my man D. Willie had to drop, but stepping in is obviously your and Arbor Selgors, and we have kind of an interesting situation, being that we don't get to make any transactions because we're so late in the season. We took over a team with not the greatest record, and we have a really tough schedule coming up with some nearly impossible matchups, which makes it very, very hard to make playoffs. So I'm kind of just going to treat this in like a more fun sort of sense. Having fun, not necessarily caring too much, but still trying to win my games. But without further ado, let's just get into the team that we were given. And our main top Uber is Zamazenta, which is a great mon, very deep move pool, great ability that gives it +1 defense when it switches in, really high attack and speed, makes it really, really tough to build for, along with fantastic coverage. It's nowhere near as good as Zacian, of course, but it's still really, really good. Stab close combat is really nice, and it kind of just goes in. Very versatile in what item you can run on it and how bulky you can run it with just how high the speed stat is, and still being able to outspeed stuff. And our second Uber, our lesser Uber, is Lando I, and it's a loud sheer force, which is what makes it an Uber here. And it's got access to great. It doesn't have access to good dual stab, but it does have earth power, and really that's all it needs to click some weeks, along with U-turn, knockoff. It gets rock slide, sludge wave, focus blast, great access to setup in, I believe it has calm mind, rock polish, and bulk up and sword stance, so tons of good ways to boost itself. It just seems very versatile. It can also just lay rocks. It puts up a ton of pressure, and then it can defog away on a lot of the switches that it forces. So Lando I, really nice mon. Up next is Lele. Obviously, I do think Lele got a little bit worse in Gen 8, but I did have it in WPF where I won a championship, so I am still pretty high on the mon. 130 special attack is just nuts, along with 95 speed puts it in a great speed tier for scarfing. And then just clicking the Psychic button in Psychic Surge is still really strong. Moonblast for the darks that want to be switching into the Psychic. And really just have to worry about the ghost types. A lot of teams do, but for Lele it's like ghost, steel, poison types, and seals and poisons are fairly easy to check, especially with this next up mon, which is Skarmory. Great Fizz-Def wall, good at setting hazards, does what it needs to do most weeks, especially with Sturdy. Can whirlwind stuff out, so it's not complete setup fodder. Can run some surprisingly good offensive sets with the combination of weak armor and sword stance, and then can just pressure things with Iron Defense Body Press, which is a great new tool for it in Gen 8. But still, just Spike Stack is really good, especially with these top three. Up next, we have Incineroar for 12 points. Pretty good mon. I've used it in UBERS format before, and it's a really nice, cheaper check to a lot of top mons. Intimidate's just a good ability in general. Access to both U-turn and parting shot, fake out, knockoff, great move. Good coverage, makes it pretty solid. Up next, Araquanid webs, very, very nice for the team. It means that you don't often have to run Scarf Lando I or Scarf Lele nearly as much, and just having webs up is really nice. Also a good special wall to complement Skarmory. The two do share an electric weakness, but Lando I kind of pressures a lot of electric types, and we still have some good stuff for electric types in the back as well. But other than that, these two complement each other pretty well. Water Bubble, fantastic ability, effectively makes it a fire resist and makes it hit deceptively hard. And Water Absorb for a couple niche matchups is nice. Boots are really nice for this thing, if not just toxic sets. And then Scald is also a very good move, so it has access to a lot. It can really do a lot. Next, we've got Goodra, very good Spadef wall. In fact, I think this thing complements Skarmory even better, just because it resists both of the types that Skarmory is weak to. Obviously, Skarmory is neutral to ice, Really resist the fairy and dragon moves that would be coming at Gudra, which I really like, just the combination of these two mods together. This mod also has really nice coverage for both its physical and special sets, and just kind of has the bulk to really chew hits, especially on the special side. No recovery is kind of a pain for it, but really that's its biggest downside. Up next we have Serena, 10 points, pretty good grass type spinner, blocks priority with Queenly Majesty, although we do also have Lele's Terrain to do that for us, so that's a little bit redundant, but it's still good. Good spinner for times when we aren't boots on Araquanid, when we want to preserve Skarmory Sturdy, can do that, and then good coverage, hits deceptively hard with that base 120 attack. Great user of an Assault Vest, and can be ran physically offensive, or it can be ran mixed defensive, depending on how you want to invest it into his FizzDef or SpDef. 98 is pretty solid with 72 base HP. Up next, we have Poltegeist. I don't really like this mon that much, but it hits deceptively hard. Obviously, after Shell Smash, it's just bodies thing. Ghost type Shadow Ball goes in on a lot of teams. Cannot really touch Dark types, but other than that, this mon just kind of goes in. Next, Jolteon. Jolteon is not very good, does not have a deep move pool at all, but it's a Wish Passer, even though it has very low base HP. It's not entirely walled by ground types if we happen to get it raining, but other than that, I don't really expect it to be doing much. And then Thievel, budget unburdened mon, since we do have Lele, but again, don't really expect it to be doing that much. So this is the team that we have taken over, and yeah, we aren't going to be doing too much, or we can't do any transactions to it. So this is the squad that you will see for the next 4 weeks, unless we do happen to make playoffs, although I sincerely doubt it. But without further ado, let's hop into the matchup for the week. And this week we play MattOshea, coach of the Montreal Milotics, and he's got an interesting team. I know he made a bunch of free agent transactions, and I think this is like the second week he can use them. But he's got a ton of very threatening mons. His roster consists of Terrakion, Comfey, Hydreigon, Lunala, Darmanitan, Silvally, Excadrill, Dracovish, Vikavolt, and Hippopotas. So immediately, the mons that jump out to me, Terrakion, this mon goes in versus my team. I do have Zamazenta to kind of alleviate most Terrakions, but if that happens to go down, this thing kind of can clean up from there. Comfey, my Steel is a Skarmory. If that happens to go down, this thing wins. Hydreigon, very, very good offensive mon. I have Lele for it, but even that just doesn't like chewing Dark Pulses, which puts a lot of pressure on my just fat special mons. Gudra's already weak to it, so Araquanid is really the best thing that I have for Hydra. And then obviously the big one that you see is Lunala. We do have 2 Dark types, although one of them is unviable. But it gets Focus Blast, and it can run like a Calm Mind Lunala set, and we kind of lose. And then, actually, we're afraid of so many mons on his team. Darm, I don't really have a Flare Blitz switch in if Gudra ever goes down. Araquanid has to be ran Water Absorb this week just because Dracovish is a menace. So we kind of are forced into doing a lot, into prepping very strangely this week. To where Incineroar is probably our best Darm check, although that just drops like Rock Slide or Earthquake. And then, surprisingly, not too worried about Drill. I think I have good answers between Skarmory, Lando, and Zama. And then Vikavolt Webs could be annoying. Hippopotas Sand could be annoying, but then you have a Hippopotas, so who really wins there? But yeah, this is the matchup. So let's just get right on into the team that we are bringing this week. Alright, and let's get into the team that we are bringing. Starting off, we got Landorus with the Choice Scarf, Sheer Force, level 50. EVs look complicated, but they're really not, just having an odd HP number. Max attack, speed for Lunala, in case that wants to run Scarf. And then we got Earthquake, U-Turn, Rockslide, Knockoff. Immediate thing is we're going to try to have a Dark or Ghost move on anything, just to be able to pressure that Lunala. Earthquake will be doing more than Earth Power, just the way that we're invested, even with the Sheer Force boost on the Earth Power. So we just got the Earthquake, and then U-Turn and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is here, and U-Turn for Momentum. Rock Slide is just to hit things that I wouldn't be able to hit, specifically the Vikavolt. And yeah, Up next, Zamazenta. It's not the crown form, that's just the only thing that Pokepaste has. Assault Vest, ability would be Dauntless Shield here, obviously. Max attack, 108 defense, 148 speed. Adamant Nature, this will outspeed his Terrakion. 108 defense allows us to take a Darn Flare Blitz after rocks and kill him. And then CC Crunch, Fire Fang, Iron Head hits his whole team, at least neutrally, but for the most part super effectively. Up next, Araquanid, Boots this week. Water Absorber needs to come in on Dracovish and try to pressure them on. Mostly Fizz Def for any coverage that Dracovish wants to run, specifically rock coverage. I know it gets a couple of rock moves. And then Toxic, Sticky Web, Scald, and Rest. Rest is to stay healthy. Scald for burns, potentially on the Dracovish to cripple that. Webs, very nice here. And then Toxic. Up next, we have Gudra, another Assault Vest mon, gooey this week. I think just slowing down his potential faster mons, such as, most importantly, Terrakion. I think slowing that mon down with the gooey is really important. Sassy Nature with Assurance, Draco Meteor, EQ, and Sludge Bomb. Pretty good coverage for his whole team. Assurance, after Shadow Shield is broken, is doing like 50 to Lunala, which means that on the off chance he wants to go into Lunala, we don't have rocks on this team, but like on the off chance he goes hard Lunala, we just do 50 to it if Shadow Shield is broken. If not, we'll do like 25 and break the Shadow Shield, which is just as important. Up next, we have Ensign, Boots this week with Intimidate, level 50, pretty much Fizz Def all, just to try to be able to switch into Darm, and then we're just going to want to take a Lunala Focus Blast and knock it off to try to knock it out, which we should be able to most of the time, unless he's running some black sets. But like knock off, U-turn, Flare Blitz, or Fake Out. I was originally Assault Vest on here too, but then I realized I already have 2 Assault Vests, so why make it a third? I will just put Boots on here. Let me come in and out of rocks, because rocks could potentially be detrimental. Also, on the off chance he's Webs, and we'll be able to outspeed his Vikable. And then lastly, we got Lele, Scarfed, Max Speed is Speed Tie, Scarfed, Darm, Moonblast, Psychic, Shadow Ball hits his entire team, Thunderbolt, off chance he brings Silvally Water, just having Thunderbolt for that, or Silvally Flying, potentially for my Zama, Silvally Water, potentially for my Lando. But yeah, that is the team. I will see you guys in the battle. Alrighty, and we are at team preview. We see Drill, Comfey, Darm, Lunala, Dracovish, Terrakion. 6 pretty much as expected. No Hippo means no Sand. How do I just try to counter lead? I'm pretty sure it would be a Darm lead. Kind of just want to lead Lando. That shit seems really free. He does not have a resist to Earthquake. And I'm Earthquake over Earth Power because I'm running full physical. It just does more damage even without the sheer force boost. So yeah, and he just doesn't have a resist. So we should just be able to start cranking through stuff. And he probably might not expect Scarf on the lead. So we might be able to net ourselves a pretty early game, or a pretty big early game kill. Hopefully we don't see a Dracovish lead, but worst comes to worst, we always can go hard Araquanid and get up our webs. So yeah, just excited for my first battle. Deciding on lead a little bit. I know it says we're playing Liv, but we're playing Matt through Liv since he unfortunately doesn't have land play working, but it's a great alternative for him since he's a great content creator, and it would suck if we couldn't get some more Wi-Fi content from him, and Showdown isn't nearly as hype. So yeah, good luck, have fun to Matt, and let's see what exactly he wants to lead. And the bully, that's Terrakion. I doubt that he will stay in on me, but at the same time, there isn't an Earthquake resist, so there's no reason for me not to click it. He could be Sash Terrakion for the rocks, although our Rocks Week's mons are heavy-duty boots this week. So we have that going for us, and let's just see. There is no switch into this, in my opinion. We do get that big earthquake off. And that is SwSh. What's he got for me? Just, we're going to see some rocks. Rocks are fine. I don't have removal, but he did not bring his Vikavolt. And so that means that I basically just don't care. And now we will be able to trade for the Terrakion. And Terrakion for rocks is a great trade for me, in my opinion. Happy that I did not make the U-turn play. I think that, yeah, I'm just happy that I didn't make it because that would have given me much less value. I doubt that he would save his Terrakion here on 1 HP. Maybe he could, but I think that Terrakion was way more threatening to my team than SwSh Rocks. So I'm really happy to see SwSh Rocks Terrakion as a bring. Especially now that it's gone. Means that Terrakion, especially Terrakion under webs, which was a massive threat to my team. Speaking of webs, I kind of want to get those up at some point very soon. As soon as we might see Dracovish switch in here, I think that's when webs, I think I'll be able to get them up pretty safely. So let's just see. I'm very cold in my room right now. I'm shaking. And I don't think it's because of the anxiety. Although it is my first game in the league, so I always want to impress, you know? But let's just see. He's taking an awful long time. But basically, my game plan in this game, he has no resist to Lando, and I've seen that. So as many times as I can get Landorus in is as many free earthquakes that I can get. That is just Lunala coming in hard. I think first for Lunala, I will go hard into my Assault Vest Gudra. I think that is probably my best alternative, or my best switch in. I want to potentially save Incin for the Darmanitan, although we do get pretty free revenges every time we sack to that Mon. I just don't like sacking. He could probably get a free Calm Mind off, which is a big issue. There's rocks. He does just Moonblast me. Great play. That's still, we chew that up very well. I will go for an Assurance here. That's really my best way to hit this thing. And potentially break its Shadow Shield. But maybe not. We'll see. He might want to switch out and preserve the Shadow Shield. He does switch into another weeb name, Klefki. Or not Klefki, Comfey. Assurance comes off. Cool. He has leftovers. It's good to see no Key Berry. I kind of just want to fire off a Sludge Wave here. I do think that is my play. I don't really have a good, reliable, super reliable at least switch into this Mon. He does just raw Calm Mind here. Hopefully the Sludge Wave does a good chunk. And then I probably want to try to deny as much Draining Kiss recovery as possible. Hopefully I don't get just raw swept by this Mon right now. We are Sludge Bomb to try to bink some poisons. Hopefully we do right here. We don't, unfortunately. Kind of want to go hard Lando here. I doubt that he clicks Giga Drain. I think he wants to get up at least one more Calm Mind. Although this potential over-aggression could be a choke if he does raw Giga Drain me right here. Or not raw Giga Drain, raw Draining Kiss. He Leech Seeds. That's fine. I'm going to U-turn here. Do I want to U-turn? I think Earthquake is just really free though. This Mon is gonna be healed up a lot. He has to be fearing the Sludge Wave here. I will just Earthquake though. Like, where's the resist? Come on. Does not switch. Earthquake. That's big damage. Draining Kiss. Is that like not triage? That's interesting if it is. Yeah, I didn't bring Skarmory, so now this is a potential issue for me. Oh my gosh, this thing just gets back so much health. What the hell? What really do I have good into Draining Kiss? I can go hard Araquanid and then get off a Toxic, I think is my play. I don't want to give him too much more chip on this Lando that can kind of just win because there's no resist. There's a Draining Kiss. Please don't do too much. That is in fact not too much because we do have rest. We can kind of stall this thing out. I'm just going to get up a free Toxic here. Probably going to get seeded, but I think that's necessary to get the Toxic going on this thing so that we don't just raw lose. Hopefully we do hit this 90%, but everyone's missed a Toxic. Taunt, good play. So he's Taunt, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Leech Seed. Probably going to see a Leech Seeds here. I'm just going to Scald it here. Probably going to see a Leech Seed. Yeah, we do. It's going to do like nothing. Yeah. We do get some burn for a little bit of residual chip. We're just going to have to do some pivoting here to just try to not lose to this Mon. It'll be interesting. I think I just should reliably... I don't want to give this thing too much more free reign through the rest of my team. What Mon seems the least useful? I think it's probably Goodra. Yeah. As much as it pains me to do it, I think I should just sack Goodra here. I think that's my best play. Is just trying to sack this Mon. I need to, so that I can reliably bring in Zamazenta to try to revenge it. And Gooey, we do get the speed drop. Is this thing like Flower Veil on accident? Because that's what I could see, because right, it didn't outspeed my Lando. So it could potentially be Flower Veil, but yeah, it's just raw slower. Oh, he's getting up more Calm Minds. Oh, no, 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 no. I still think if he's slower that I just have to sack this Mon. He's at +2 SpDef now. So I think that outweighs the super effectiveness of the moves. And I just have... I think Earthquake will be doing more now. He could be getting all the way up, but... yeah, that is slightly more, just because Comfey is a weaker... yeah, no, he's just not Triage. That heals him up so much. For some reason, there is just no Triage. We do see this Mon potentially in range of Lando Earthquake after my Earthquake, which is good to know. Because he'll only be gaining back a little bit of HP. So that does look like range for Landorus Earthquake. He actually switches. Big red button, that is Dracovish. I'll drop a Draco on the off chance that we are faster, even though we are minus speed nature. Like, unless he's like some... ooh, Rock Blast. Cool tech. Lele time. This being Rock Blast means that Araquanid is no longer that good of a switch in. Psychic Surge comes out. Pokemon would like to come in. He could go Hard Drill here. Either way, I have to Moonblast. He switches. Darude, that is the drill. Yeah. Mold Breaker, of course. That's some nice chip. Special attack drop does not matter. I'm just gonna drop my Gudra to... Oh, I dropped it, never mind. I'll just go Hard Zama. This thing should chew really anything an Excadrill wants to do. And we can start applying hella pressure this way. Via close combats and the likes. Here he comes. Big Zamazenta. Nice fat defense raise. Iron Head. Yeah, that is like nothing at all. So what was to come in and take a close combat? Potentially the Lunala. I don't see him giving me the drill. I'm gonna get a little bit aggressive and go for a crunch. Oh, he stays in. He might be Choppleberry then. Oh, he gets a Toxic off. That is really bad for cutting down my longevity, huh? I'm just gonna have to crunch again. And there goes the drill. Nice. What does he want to go into now? Big red button. There is the Dracovish. $50-50. Do I stay in or do I switch out? This Mon pressures him so much, but I'm just going to call him out. I think that he's going to predict my Araquanid and Rock Blast, potentially. I think he's going to be a Scarf set. I think that cleans me really well. But he's clearly thinking on if he wants to switch or stay in. I think that I just have to close combat here. My Zama, I think in his eyes, is too valuable for me to give up. And potentially helping out my array. Yeah, he goes for the Rock Blast. Clean. Good prediction by me. You probably will disagree with that play, but... Does that Rock Hill? Oh well. He is holding the Choice Scarf, so... Now we know that. Weirdness disappears. And I can crunch. Getting rid of this Dracovish. And crunching gets rid of the Dracovish, unless he wants to preserve this one, which he actually might, although I have dual Scarfers, so I don't see why he would. Yeah, he just goes for another Rock Blast. He misses. That's actually really nice, because that means that we might be able to pick up one more Mon. There goes the Dracovish. And we do not live the poison. So there we go. So that Rock Blast miss does not matter at all. But now we got 4 months to his 3. I really like going hard into my Lando. I think that is my play 100%. And here we come out. Kaguya, that is the Lunala. I think I do have one more switch into rocks. So I'm just gonna go for the U-turn, break the Shadow Shield, and get in my Incineroar. Agility. I think this is going to come down to him hitting a Focus Blast. I'm just going to go for a knockoff. He might be able to chew this. He might be Colbert Berry. Oh, he's Reflect for himself. He might be Weakness Policy then. Maybe. Either way, this is a 6 set. He is. Oh, fuck. I have to knock again and hope that he misses a Focus Blast. Oh, he has Moonblast for me. Please chew Incin. Big trust in the Incin. Big trust in the Incin. And then he's got Comfey and he's got Darm. So I might be able to just raw clean this up with Lando EQs. Big Incin. There's the Comfey. I just Flare Blitz it. But yeah, that was like pretty much max HP, nearly max defense Incin, because this is meant for Darmanitan as well. I don't know if this thing kills me with a Draining Kiss. Although Reflect is up, I do have to keep that in mind as I do close out this game. So it might be that we win with Scarf Lele instead. Gets off the Leech Seed. Fine play. Getting rid of recoil, or getting recoil damage also means that we are giving him back less health, and at this point Reflect has 1 turn used, 2 turns used, 3 turns used. It'll have at least 4 turns used by the time that this whole interaction is done. Whether this Draining Kiss kills me or not, I do believe the Leech Seeds would clean me off after. There goes Incin. Then he gets even more Lefties recovery. And then we have our Lele, which is Scarfed. And Scarf Psychic potentially cleans up, because I know he doesn't have any Calm Minds up. And Lele plus Psychic Terrain plus max special attack plus 130 special attack. And we have a good amount of just natural special bulk. So I don't know how much Draining Kiss realistically is doing to me. And we're locking Psychic in Psychic Terrain. This should probably kill Comfey. Let's see. And if not, I don't know if there's an interaction that'll leave him at a high enough health point to where he'll survive Lando EQ. Draining Kiss. Yeah, that's not going to do enough. Maybe this thing was like actually Triage. It would have been able to do much better, but it's not, which means that Lele potentially just cleans this shit up. Reflect is gone. I think that means that we win. Because I don't know Darmset, unless he's like sub Billy Drum Slackberry, but if he is, I think he might just raw drop to a Psychic into Rain. And Lele picks up 1. Yeah. V Create. Good nickname. I am max speed. Let's see if he wants to speed tie me, or at least win the speed tie. He does not, and it barely lives. He goes for a rock slide. That's fine. You can knock out my Lele. I don't believe Darmanitan has any priority. So I think we got this. 2-0. Because we barely live the rocks, right? That is, it looks like 3 HP. Yeah. Then we just click Earthquake, and I think we got it. Fantastic game to MattOshea. Definitely a really tough team to build around. And I almost didn't have Incineroar on this team, but that ship proved to be way too clutch. I'm so happy that I brought it. But yeah, we do pick up a nice dub 2-0 in our first game. We had a very pivotal play against the Dracovish with our Zamazenta, which ended up, I believe, that 50-50 right there pretty much won us the game. Yeah, fantastic game to Matt. He played really, really well. And we got a tough schedule ahead, and unfortunately we don't get to make any changes to the team because of just when we took over. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our debut battle in the BBL. Please be sure to check out Matt in the description down below. I know he recently just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a very, very big accomplishment. And make sure to check out all the other fantastic coaches in the comments down below. I don't know how many channels you might have seen of theirs before in our description, but always a bunch of good new faces and potentially getting caught up on BBL coaches throughout the season if you are just finding out about the league now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, Jesse504 out.